promised earlier that I would be on tonight. I was having some technical difficulties, but that's resolved right now. So I'm here. I'm Dr. Miriam Smith, the host for Empowering New Nurses, and I'm excited that you're here with me as I share something on breast cancer. And I'll be talking a little on breast cancer tonight. I know we might have many survivors, and I've seen many, many activities going on in different areas. Some places they're happening in the church setting. You know, some are going for walks. Some have made maybe crocheting. They have done some knitting, and many have different activities. Very creative. And so some might go for dinner, some might just come together, and they might also think of those who have passed. Now, let me share one of my experiences. Very good friend of mine, a nurse by profession, and she battled with this disease. She took her treatment, and she would come by me sometime. We would talk, and I was sharing her pain at times, especially when she had gotten her treatment, and then she would go for the result to check on the levels, see what was happening, and they weren't good. So she would come by, we would talk, and she would just express herself. And for sure, that was not easy for me either. She took her medication, she took her treatment, she prayed, we prayed, but it just never happened that she survived. She passed, and I still see her picture sometimes. Recently, I was going through some pictures and I saw her, and I just reflect on those great moments that we spent together. By this, let me just pause right here to say that let us show love and kindness to one another when we can receive it. Or they would say, there's a little proverb by give me my flower when I can smell it, or show me that you care when I'm alive. Very, very important. And so, as I prepared or research uh, for this setting, for this discourse, I actually looked at and reflected on my sister, who is a survivor for many years now. But I remember when I was in California, San Jose, California, some years ago, when my sister called me to say that she received that news. And I remember being in the train, in the deck bus, actually, and going from San Jose to another area in California. And when she called and she gave me that news, I was just so saddened. She was crying on the other end, and I was devastated on the other end too. But with courage, support, medication, the medication, and also some herbal medicine, my sister is alive today. And that's more than, I would say, 15 years. So I just want to say, give some words of encouragement to those who were just diagnosed. I know that it's a fearful experience, but with the support, from family and friends and well-wishers and the competent medical team, interprofessional team, you can go forward. And of course, the spiritual aspect for me is important, very, very important. And so, with prayer and with God's help, meditation, reading the Bible, studying words and experience, and just submitting everything to Him, the possibility is there. He's still a healer. He was many years ago, and He's still a healer today. I've seen Hussein. I've seen great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've seen, I was looking, I think it was on Facebook, where I saw individuals, I think they were on the walk in Jamaica. And I met someone in July who was very passionate about the work that she was doing in that end of in Jamaica and different parts of the world to make sure that the awareness of breast cancer is, I would say, disseminated to different individuals. And I'm going to say it's so important to educate the public about breast cancer. The fact is, October is being celebrated, but we encourage others during the other months to, of course, make sure they comply with their screening, with their tests, whatever those tests are, that you should make sure you do your part. Wives, we encourage you to encourage your husband. Husbands, we encourage you to encourage your wives to make sure they have their annual test, the mammogram. And let me hasten to say that we do have men who have breast cancer too. So not just all women. It's important also that as you go through, it can be very challenging. And those of you who have someone who has had the disease and you have been there with them, know for sure that it's not an easy task. Experience. You've also seen the physical appearance, it changes. Many women, they have lost their hair, their skin becomes so black, and it's just that impact, that negative impact that it has on the body. It really shows. But after getting the treatment and having that support there, I'm telling you, it is just thrilling for me to see the miracle. I'm going to say it's a miracle because having seen one gone through, my sister, for example, having gone through so much, sometimes it would appear that you're not going to make it. She wouldn't be making it. But she's here roughly more than 15 years. I'm just encouraging our survivors to be strong. Although it is so challenging, I know, and I'm talking from experience, just lean on the Lord and be strong. And wherever the resources are, buy them up and embrace them. Some you might have individuals coming to you and saying things like, don't take any chemo, or don't do this, or don't do that. But remember, you're the one who's going to make the final decision. And if you even choose, and that's, I'm talking personally now, I'm not talking from any book, I'm just talking from my experience. If you choose to decide that you want to take some herb along with whatever, and you choose to do that, my sister did that and she was fine. And she did well. I'm not saying, some people are saying go holistic, just total. It's up to you. But if the need is there for chemo, I'm going to take the chemo plus whatever else I'll use. That's me. you'll have to make that decision. But I'm telling you how my take on that. So I've seen it work. I've seen it work. I've seen it work. I've seen individuals who had it when my sister was diagnosed, and they're no longer here. We talked, discussed, no longer here. So to me, it's still a miracle. It's still a miracle. That healing is a miracle. And so I just hasten to say that there are some activities that one who is taking treatment on during that time frame can participate in, for example, or get help from music, like listening to music, writing music, doing maybe some puzzles. Uh, if you're strong enough to go and do a little gardening, that helps both physically and mentally. Your hand touching the soil, you're observing the leaves, the planting of whatever, or just observing, whatever you choose to do, it does make a difference. And so, uh, walking along, looking at the greenery and the flowers, just observing nature by itself. You might want to be in a yoga class, because that might help to relieve some of the stress that you might be experiencing. And just make with others, communicate with others, because as you talk and express your feeling and your exactly just how you feel, your experience, that experience at that time, it can help to, as you share, help to alleviate, help to lessen that strain and that anxiety and that depression. Listening to music can give you an upbeat, can help to soothe the brain, the mental part, and help you to raise your mood. You know, maybe some more endorphins will come because you're thinking heavily on something positive that can cause that to flow. You can write, as I said, you might be able to write a song, you might play an instrument. I like to listen to music, and I like guitar music very, very much. So if you have something to say, it's okay. Now, I know there are many places that will be having different activities. For example, they might be having some walks in memory of someone who have passed, or you might just have some walk to help to aid in the research process, because there's constant research going on. You know, it's not just locally, but it's internationally. And it's important to think of those who are less fortunate. Some the diseases are really, I would say, the stage, like stage 4, for example, but my sister had stage 4 and she recovered. There's no sign of it right now, and we're grateful. So, my word of encouragement to you would be, those who are survivors, be strong, keep keeping on. If you have to make adjustment to your diet, or you have to make adjustment to your lifestyle, I would encourage you to do so. I would encourage you also to be positive. Embrace that positive mindset. Embrace that, embrace positivity, and don't go under, but stay on top. Just remember, I read somewhere it says that the Lord who has kept you up will not let you fall down. So that is so, so great. I've seen others coming on. I appreciate you coming on. And I just want to say in my closing that if you have something special, if you want something special to say to someone, say it now. I've been a nurse for more than 4 decades. I know that's a short time for you. It's a long time for me. And I've seen, I've met individuals who are fighters with this disease, fighters, and they survived. You had others who were, I'm not going to say just negative, but they fed into, you know, depression, as it were. But remember, there's nothing too hard for the Lord. If you pray and you work, and if it's His will, you can survive. So for me, I would say go on and go through with your treatment as as indicated. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you listening. And I'm requesting for you to this book, that's me here, Nurse, the Guide to Empower New Nurses in the Delivery of High Quality Care to All Patients. This book, it's on Amazon. If you're a nurse or you're not a nurse, you can have a copy. You can obtain a copy on Amazon. It's one of Amazon's bestsellers. And you will see where I have cared for individuals, high profile individuals across this spectrum, across the sphere of society, and what has helped me along my nursing journey. And I'm passionate about passing on that to the new generation, the generation of this time in nursing. And having had certain experiences, skills, both in academia and clinical settings, I have shared in this book many tips that a young nurse can embrace to help him or her in the nursing journey. I am excited right now that this book is out, and I've covered many areas in communication, therapeutic, congruent care, culturally congruent care. And you know what that is? Culturally congruent care. I'm seeing individuals from India. I'm seeing individuals from different parts of the world right now. And I'm excited because you're able to identify with what I'm saying because your culture, your ethnicity, when you think of culture, the food, the behavior, and so we reach others internationally and we endeavor to meet the needs because every patient, regardless of your nationality, your sexual orientation, your beliefs, your status, your economical status, whatever, and the list goes on. Each person needs individualized care, need custom built care. And so within my book, I also talk about that. Very, very important. I'm in New York right now, and it's New York is one of the places that you'll go that you'll see diversity in extension. And so I'm excited to see I'm talking to individuals from in India right now. And it's interesting that I must give a high an applaud to Patricia. Patricia is my AI individual who helps me. And she was the one who said to me, that picture, I should put that picture on the cover of my book. Because she was there with me when I was designing, getting the cover designed. And the picture, she actually said, and she has been my AI person for a while. And so I just want to say I appreciate you all for coming on. And just remember as we go that cancer survivors need to embrace and they need encouragement from other supporters. in whatever form you can do that. So thank you so much again for coming on, and I'll be on again at 8 tomorrow evening. So get your friends and come on. Now, how can you connect with me? On YouTube, you can connect at Miriam, Miriam, Amanda, Amanda, space again, Smith, Smith. And you can subscribe, you can share, because you will see episodes there that are not just targeted for nurses, but also for the general public. For example, communication. We all need to communicate. If we don't communicate effectively, what can happen? If we don't communicate effectively, a lot of things can happen. Misunderstanding, would say medication errors, or just things that should not be because of not communicating effectively. While we communicate clearly with relevant, short, and spicy and clear, very, very important for effective communication, relevancy. Those are important, I would say, points for effective communication. So I'm going to say bye for now, and thank you so much for listening. Share this, share this with someone else. That is Miriam Amanda Smith on YouTube, and on Podcast Mir, Podcast Podcast Mir, and Instagram. And if you look on my website, is Empowering New Nurses. Empowering New Nurses. Dr. Miriam Amanda Smith. You will see that. So I look forward to you coming again, and I look also forward for you to share with others. Be great. Be great. Thank you again.